Hi, I'm TJ. Who do we have here?
This is Pablo.
Hi, Pablo. Are you a little unsure, bud?
He doesn't really like the car, so he's kind of like, where am I?
Oh, okay.
Let's let him. A little bit afraid of a man sometimes.
That's understandable. He seems a little unsure. Is it just guys?
Huh?
Is it just guys, or like
no,
people in general?
Oh, just guys, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like he'll kind of like around rough sometimes with people, but it's mostly with men.
Okay.
Yeah. Come on, Papa.
And what are we going to be working with Pablo on mostly here?
So Pablo is a big, Pablo.
So leash work, and then some social work with dogs at the park, and then some jumping and basic obedience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and like door manners would also be great because he kind of just jumps on people. That's all we've done though, they'll do that.
Oh.
I was like, why is there a camera following me? No, buddy.
Now, has he ever bit any dogs at the dog park or anything?
No.
Okay.
No, he's like accidentally like scratched one, but never like bit.
Okay. Just wondering if we need to like work with a muzzle on him or anything like that.
I mean,
it might be safer.
It might be safer especially if I'm not around. I don't want him to bite someone and then that be a problem.
Right.
So it might just be safer until he's, maybe starting to do better with that.
Okay.
I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Yeah, we'll take a look. I'll need to get a smaller size muzzle for him, probably like a 3. Okay, we'll go for a little walk here towards the food station. I'll drop this off and we can see what his walking manner's like.
I think right now he's a little busy because he's not trying to aggressively get out of the one after this, but he's also he doesn't like when I take photos of him either, so I'm not surprised that he's not trustful of this camera.
Usually what I'll do if they're unsure of it is I'll just kind of leave it out in the open, and then they'll get a chance to kind of smell it, you know? And then I'll just walk away. There you go. Usually it's the uncertainty of something new that causes a lot of that apprehension. So with dogs, getting to get close to something enough that they can smell it will usually make it a little bit more comfortable or familiar for them. Yeah, unfortunately not everybody's as good as picking things up around.
Yeah, no, I definitely know that in my neighborhood. I'm always picking up other people's dogs because I'm like, I don't want people to think this is me.
It's always the most disappointing thing when it's like right by the station too.
We were so close.
So close. Okay, here. I'll go ahead and see how fearful he is of me and how much of a flight risk he would be.
He doesn't, at least with me, run off of a He's a little bit like, who the fuck? Now you're just gonna kill me. But at least with me, he's not like horrible off leash. Mochie though, she's one girl of the group. Gotcha. She is a menace. She will evaporate into the air.
Okay. So would you consider like a 1 out of 10, 1 being he'll just stay right next to you on a perfect heel, and 10 being he'll be gone as fast as lightning if you drop the leash?
Pablo?
Yeah.
Well, that might scare him if it hits the ground, but in general, like I let him run around in the like grass next to him, and he usually listens pretty well. Sometimes he won't, so he's probably at like a 5 or 6. He won't like run off, but he might not like actually listen and come back immediately.
Okay, here, let's go ahead and test some recall now. Let's go ahead and call his name and call him back to you.
Pablo, come on. Well, okay, well,
he thought about it.
He got a
little distracted.
Pablo. He's like, I'm busy. Pablo.
With his nose? Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's still trying. He's also he can be anxious, so I think he's trying to figure out where he is. It's
harder for him to focus on new environments, places. Okay.
Pablo. Pablo. Pablo's like, I will not be listening to you right now. That's just another thing, but it's fine.
That's okay. All right.
In normal habitats, he doesn't listen to me.
Okay. So the goal with Pablo too, especially for me, is going to be able to kind of build his trust fast enough that I can actually work with him. Because especially with him being anxious and afraid of me, it'll be really hard for me to like give him a command because he's just concentrating on getting away the whole time.
Yeah,
So
it might not take that long once you're actually like in a closer space with him, not just like him seeing me and being like, what is happening?
Gotcha. Yeah,
I think I'm losing the way.
It usually doesn't take too long. It just depends on how anxious they are and how well socialized they are, and just like how friendly they can be.
No, Pablo's just a big baby, but
yeah, he seems very kind of upset and just crying right now.
Yeah, I mean, I did also adopt him March 2020. So.
And he was always like this?
He was a puppy, and we spent a lot of time together, like without me leaving my apartment.
Gotcha.
I lived in Boston, so everything was shut down there. I didn't have a car. Well, I didn't have my car with me, so I wasn't taking my Uber to the grocery store or anything. I didn't have anything to deliver, so I was
That's
barely
okay.
left my apartment.
Come on, let's go.
Walk with him, but
Good
he also
job.
was very afraid of
Oh,
walking
good boy. This way.
on a leash. Like he would stop in the middle of the road.
Good boy. This way. Yes. Very good. Good boy. There you go. Good. That was good though. You kind of saw he got close. He got close enough to smell for a minute, and then he made some space again. Oh, that's fine.
Big booty, come here.
Here, I'll let you go ahead and take him, and we'll do pup number 2 next.
Okay.
Unless there was anything else that you wanted to go over with Pablo with me.
No, not really. Do I just hold on to him, or what do you do?
Oh, I would just go ahead and swap him out with another dog, because he seems very anxious in there anyways. And that way we'll be able to kind of fully concentrate on the next pup too. Good catch.
Like I said, no, she was fine. She jumped out.
Oh, good
More
catch.
like she would have run.
Oh,
That
okay.
was my issue with her. She's a baby, so it's 5 months.
So who do we have here?
This is Bean.
Hi, Bean.
Bean has no sense of confidence in any kind of way.
Gotcha.
He's a big sniffer, so he really likes smelling things.
He looks like he's already trying to find a trail. We'll go ahead and walk him a bit, see if he needs to go to the bathroom.
Also, he does devour water like nobody's business.
Okay. I've got a big water fountain filter thing, so he's got a pretty much unlimited supply, and we'll just keep an eye on him so he can pee.
And he'll usually poop around right before eating dinner, so like around 5, anywhere from 5 to like 5:45 he'll poop.
Okay.
And
If you want to just text me those things, as well as like the feeding guidelines for the dogs, that way I'll have it as a reference later on.
And what kind of things will you be doing with them? Because that kind of dictates how much Pablo eats, because Pablo needs to lose weight. So usually, if there's more activity, then he can eat a little bit more.
Yeah, that makes sense, because I was gonna say usually they get a lot of steps when they're here in boot camp, just because, you know, of not only walking exercises but social exercises, going out around other people and around other dogs, the dog park. So they'll definitely be burning a lot of calories.
Okay.
Looks like he's interested in it. He's trying to find a spot. We can try over here as well. Go ahead and call his name.
Bean. He does not listen to me. Bean. He follows better when one of his siblings is around, so he can follow them. But
so with him, it's just going to be really kind of getting that initial focus and response in.
Yeah, since he's only 5 months old, he hasn't had any other kind of challenges.
Okay. And I noticed that they were all kind of close together in the back there. So is Pablo okay after he kind of gets settled in with other dogs?
Oh no, so they're fine all together. They have no issues like together. And I've had Bean actually since he was a week old. Because he was my foster, and then I kept him. And he did great with Bean's mom, Pablo. Like, I don't know what it is, like what sets him off. Because he was fine with her. Like he still plays with her. Like my friend adopted her, so they're fine together. I really don't know what sets him off. Like he's fine with Mochie, and Bean. Bean does like to scream unnecessarily. He's not actually injured. Don't believe him. He just like,
it's a little dramatic.
yeah, no, like, he'll be next to Pablo and screaming, and then I think that like Pablo like hurt him, and I look at him and nothing's wrong, and I'm like, okay, perfect.
Okay. Gotcha.
He just likes to scream bloody murder for no reason.
So we're gonna have to definitely kind of evaluate Pablo's behavior at the dog park, see if I can find any consistent triggers for you, and I'll have that recorded as well, so that way we will be able to kind of review it for you, and I'll send you the clips and everything, so that way you'll be able to see, and if you have any questions, good job. If you have any questions about, you know, what they're doing and what's going on, you can always just let me know, and we'll make adjustments too if necessary.
Yeah, Bean's like, I mean, obviously he's a puppy, so really.
Right. Do any of the dogs have any allergies?
No, they do not.
Bean. Yes, good boy.
He does.
Do you know how to sit? Oh, good sit. You know down?
He does.
Almost.
Exclusively sit.
Okay. Good boy. Good listen.
Like, he learned that pretty fast, and then he knew paw at one point, but then he forgot it. So, you know.
Gotcha. What do you think, bud? Huh? What do you think?
Maybe.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, no, Bean's very sweet. He's great with other dogs. He has no type of like social problems. He's gone to the dog park a bunch. He was at daycare for a little bit when I had to travel, so he's fine.
Okay.
He plays with my other friend's dog. I live in Charlottesville, so like on the lawn at UVA, like he's fine.
Gotcha.
With smaller dogs.
Is that as tight as his harness gets?
I am not. No. I think I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, no. This is like a newer harness because I wanted the one that's on Mochie was his old harness, but he grew out of it, and they don't have those harnesses in stock yet. So I wanted a cool one, so
okay.
I got him this one.
So what's going on here with the harness, and this will happen even with collars too, is like if it doesn't fit, if it's not fitted properly, like it just needs to be tightened up around here.
Yeah.
So when you pull, it actually pulls the whole material.
Yeah.
Instead of just pulling him, right? So if it was snug, as soon as it would pull left or right, he would go left or right. Instead, most of the material is right.
Right here.
Yeah, and then eventually the back end of it is like kind of forcing him that way. So we'll try to make some adjustments, see if we can get it to fit, see if we can get things to fit properly with what you have on the pups, and then I'll let you know if like, because I have a couple harnesses and vests and easy walkers and things like that. If you know those will be more beneficial to help them out as well. But right now it's just like
Yeah,
Okay.
I kind of just got this because I was forced to and needed a harness on him sometimes, but
no problem. All right. Is there anything else you wanted to go over with Bean?
no, I mean, yeah, just like most like basic obedience stuff, and like kind of the same thing as Pablo, like not jumping on people. Also, he's a big counter surfer, trying to put his paws on the counter and see what kind of food he can acquire, so that's a big thing.
We can definitely work on leave it, and a big part of that too is like once you get him back at home, kind of making sure you're setting him up for success and not just leaving cookies at the edge of the counter, you know, things like that. It's gonna usually be harder with kids
because of the dogs.
Yeah,
but it's just like if I'm cooking or something, like he'll put his feet on the counter and just stare at me, and I'm like, get off of this counter.
Gotcha.
And then
so like down and leave it.
Yeah, and also personal space would be great because last week he jumped on my face. I was on the couch, he jumped on my face, like the side of my face hurt for a few days.
That'll be a hard one, especially with puppies, because that like the excitement and they just want to engage with you.
Yeah.
So maybe having him to like with the not jumping part kind of approach hopefully a little bit more calmly, or with like touch to get what he wants, right? Like with the paw. All right. We'll go over the last candidate here, and then I'll start unloading him. Hi.
She's a menace.
Oh.
But her biggest thing is literally running off.
Okay. So she's gonna be like the high flight risk kind of.
Yeah, she's
okay.
Very big flight risk.
Gotcha.
But they all have air tags on them, so.
Oh, nice. I also have a GPS collar too. I only have one, so it'll probably go on
Mochie.
her,
Yeah.
or if they're alternating when they're going out, I'll switch it on to different pups. Good down.
No, why she can't? She doesn't do that.
Alright.
Also, potty training for Beanie.
Okay. We'll keep an eye on that. Usually it won't be too much of an issue just because they'll be out so often.
Yeah.
But trying to either teach them to touch or signal or something, or go to the gate when they have to go potty.
Yeah.
See how it is. And so who do we have here?
This is Mochie.
Okay. Mochie.
Mochie.
Good girl.
She's pretty good unless she pees or poops inside out of spite.
Okay. Doesn't be like being left alone even with her puppy friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I always, in the morning, I take out her and Bean first, because if I don't, she will pee or poop inside.
Okay.
And I figure Pablo is very good about
Holding.
yeah.
Okay.
He is fully potty trained, doesn't really have accidents.
That's good.
The only time he's ever had an accident, he was like sick and had like explosive diarrhea.
Gotcha.
But
Poor guy.
yeah.
Here, I'll hold the leash and just go ahead and call her name.
Mochie. Mochie. Yeah, Mochie doesn't like me. She thinks my sister is her own.
Okay. Does she respond better to your sister?
She does.
That's
Yeah, my
good.
older sister.
Okay.
My sister is a policeman, but also, yeah, no, the reason I know Mochie's a virus is because we were visiting my sister in Ohio. I'm pretty sure she's about to poop. And she ran into the street above her.
Okay. At like anything in particular, people?
People, she also ran into trying to run after animals, even if it's just like a squirrel. There's
Okay.
a bunny that sometimes hops through our neighborhood. The other day, she decided that she was big enough to try to fight a deer.
There you go. That's
It's
pretty
funny because she's the smallest, so.
pretty normal dog behavior, unless you think it's overly aggressive prey drive.
No, I mean,
'Cause all
others
dogs
don't.
love chasing squirrels and things like
Yeah.
that. Hi.
I know.
Mochie. Yes, good girl. Good job. So one thing that will be good is if you can join us on some sessions, just because like you were talking about when she might be more responsive to her name with strangers but not to you, and how we can kind of rehabilitate and recondition that for you. Because sometimes when certain people will call their pets, they'll like kind of learn to ignore them, either because there's nothing in it reward wise for them, and then also sometimes because there's no like consequence for not listening as well.
Yeah.
We want to try to work on things from both angles as much as possible. Usually it's easier if it's like something positive, like a positive association built with it, and it makes them want to hurry back and come and listen to us, as opposed to just that negative where it's like, oh, I don't want to, or am I gonna have to, or else I might get like pulled back or choked or whatever. We always want to work on the latter, but
not choking herself,
Yeah.
unless she sees a squirrel.
Right. We want to work as much on
Mochie.
that first part as possible, but then sometimes if they don't have that second part at all, it's harder for them to actually listen.
Mochie. Not a thought in the world.
Try one more time.
Mochie. Mochie.
Good. Now, as soon as she starts coming to you, good. That's when you would, start giving her praise, start cheerleading her, kind of to reel her in. Now that you actually
Mochie.
finally got her attention, right?
Yeah. I wonder if it's when my voice is less high.
It just depends, because sometimes, and you'll notice too in the video, parents will have different tones and fluctuations, and it's just the same like with people. Like if your significant other was trying to call to you and they were like, hey sweetie, how are you doing, come over here, you're more likely to come than like, sweetie, come here, right? So sometimes, especially with dogs, that intonation is something that they pick up very clearly on.
Okay.
And, you know,
Mochie.
and
Mochie.
one. So now, yep, go ahead and start cheerleading her when she, well, when she was starting to come back in.
Mochie. Okay, well.
Almost. Mochie, come. Good girl, come, come, come. Good job. Good job. You want a treat? Come here. Yeah, nope.
She can sometimes be tricky.
No problem. We'll try.
A little princess color because she's a little brat.
No worries. We'll try different treats to see what she likes.
Mochie.
But you kind of see what I did there. As soon as I got her attention, and I just kind of kept like being excited for her to come in, right? Just, that's what I mean by reeling her in. And sometimes that'll help out a lot too.
Yeah, that used to be Bean's harness, but he grew out of it. Now
Yeah, this one definitely fits her a lot better, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Was there anything else besides the recall and the name from Mochie? Like, how is she around other pups and people
she's fine
outside
with
of the
other
barking?
dogs. People should, like, kind of, like, again, the same thing, just, like, no jumping, and, like, some just, like, basic manners would be great. Those are, like, the things off the top of my head.
Okay.
Yeah, and also just, like, the barking, and she'll bark a lot at people.
Gotcha.
So, it would be great if she stopped barking at everyone and everything.
Now we'll have to figure out if she's barking because she's excited and she wants to play and engage, or if she's barking because she's unsure and afraid of them and she's trying to make space. I don't think it's unsure,
because she'll bark at them and then jump on them and try to say hi. So
just being excited, probably.
Barking out of excitement.
Okay. So we're gonna definitely have to do a lot of socializing with all three of them.
Mochie. Mochie.
Yeah, so you definitely take on like a more stern, foreboding tone after she doesn't listen to you the first time. So I'll try to hold this, and why don't you go in front of her and then just try to call her sweetly, and then when you get her attention, then just reel her in, right? Just like cheerlead her the rest of the way in.
Mochie. Mochie. Girl. You only took like 2 steps.
Yeah, she almost seems scared to come to you, right? Go ahead and take a few steps back again, and I'll hold her even closer. And take a few more steps back. Okay, now go ahead and try to call her.
Mochie, good job. Yeah, I think it's because my mom and my sister are the ones that give her all the treats, and I'm the one that has to put my foot down.
Gotcha.
So.
And that's where finding balance in the home is going to be good too.
Lets Mochie do whatever she wants.
Gotcha.
My sister actively tries to take Mochie, and I'm like, you are a resident. You quite literally are never home.
Gotcha. So that's where like just some consistencies within the family will help, because you're always going to have favorites and things like that, but you don't want to always play good cop, bad cop, because then what happens if the bad cop needs to get the dog's attention, right? The dog has more of a negative connotation towards that person and their interactions.
Me. It's just me. Like my mom's visiting, but usually it's just me.
Good girl, come here.
Mochie.
Come on, let's go. Good girl, come on. Yes, good girl. Okay.
Mochie, that dog.
All right, and will you be around to join us on the sessions? Are you guys going on vacation while they're boarding?
So I'll be in Northern Virginia for the next week.
Okay.
And then I will be in Charlottesville, so I can come down. It would just probably be better if it was the week that I was in Northern Virginia.
Right.
That you wanted me to join in on the sessions, but otherwise, yeah, I'll be in Charlottesville, so not cover you if I have to drive.
No, that's fine. So long as you're able to maybe before you leave, kind of join us on a session. That way I can see if, because like even with the recall and name, like she's already responding better to me than to you, and my goal is to make it so she's responding as well to me as she is to you, right? She's doing good. This way.
Good job.
All right. Was there anything else that you wanted to go over before I start introducing them to the other pups and all that good stuff?
Nope. Oh, are there other dogs in there?
Yeah, I just have the 2 pups of my own that are fosters,
Okay.
and then I have my girlfriend's 2 dogs as well. But usually her dogs are upstairs with her, and that way, like I said, it'll give especially Pablo the opportunity to.
They'll be fine. She will have a grand old time full of Bean.
Yeah, it'll be a good way for Pablo to start getting used to other pups as well, just because they've had a lot of dogs that come and go, so they they know the drill. They've had everything from aggressive cases to puppies.
Yeah, it's funny because my mom's friend, we're actually going to stay at my mom's friend's place, and she has a cat, and the first time I went there with Pablo, he wasn't even a year yet, but he kept trying to play with the cat, and the cat was not having it because it's an older cat.
Gotcha.
And so Pablo just kept running away from it.
Poor thing.
Because Pablo was...
All right. I'm going to go ahead and give you this back, and I'll go throw this away.
Okay.
All right. Was there anything else that you wanted to go over before we end the video?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Yeah, I think it'll be... Definitely look forward to working with all of them. It's okay. Lilo, good girl. It's okay. Yeah, you get that Fiona. Yeah. You want to play? There you go. You're okay. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. You're okay. Good girl. Fiona, you're blocking the whole camera. Oh. Don't want to scare him. Oh no, you're still barking. Okay. Alright. So first up, we're going to have Beanie here for some basics on leash walking. The objective here is to get him to just kind of follow us and recognize the tension on the leash. Good boy. Okay. Good boy. Very good. So he's very nose driven. He's interested in the sounds of the barking and what's going on out there. Good job. Yes, there you go. Yes, good boy. This way. It's okay. Alright, so he pulls and really wants to go that way. Good boy, this way. Alright, so all I'm waiting for is for him to kind of give up and want to follow me. We don't have any treats yet for him or anything, but we want to at least still give him that positive feedback and let him know that he's doing the right thing when he's close to us and when he's following us. Good boy. Okay. And keep the leash nice and loose. He starts to get excited, follows his nose, gets stuck by the leash. Yes, good boy, this way. I know. And just like every other puppy, he kind of just wants to be out there. He wants to explore the world. He wants to see what his nose is leading him to. And that's perfectly fine, for me at least, so long as The leash is still nice and loose. As soon as it gets tight though, that's his limit. That's his boundary. That's when he has to start learning that when a leash is tight, he has to pay attention to what's going on, where I am, and what I'm doing, and where I'm going. Okay? So right now I'm just using it as a boundary. I'm not adding in any additional pressure or sharp points or anything on it. And I'm just gonna start moving. Good boy, this way. Okay. Right? Yes, good boy, this way. Very good. Right. So I almost coerce him into following me and moving with me as opposed to against me, just because it becomes easier to move the same way that I'm going, right? Just because right now it's impossible for him to continue on in the wrong way, because I create that boundary with the leash. Okay, so we're moving, the leash is nice and loose. He gets too far ahead, the leash gets tight. Oh, good job. And I'm adding additional direction changes. I'm holding. I'm just trying to make as much impact on that leash as possible without creating any more tension, right? All the tension that's going on is when he creates it by following his nose past where the leash can go. And this is what I want him to learn. He can still use his nose so long as there's no tension on the leash, right? There's always going to be plenty of smells in our immediate vicinity, in our immediate surrounding area. So he doesn't always have to go past it, right? Right here, there's tension on the leash because he wanted to keep going to follow that nose scent. He's kind of pushing forward as much as he can. All right. Getting distracted by the barking of the other pups. Good. Then when he comes back in there, I release the tension on the leash and I start walking again. Okay? So all we're trying to work on is just clear communication between when he can move and when he can't move. A lot of times pups will just start pulling to get to where they're interested in, excitement wise, or following their nose, and there's that tension on the leash. But because they get to still make progress when there's tension on the leash, they just keep pulling, right? So part of it is discipline on our end, and part of it is discipline on the dog's end. Good job. Go. So he's doing very well for the first time here. Okay. Got really excited on what was over there. Okay. And now I want to start walking back over to the training exercise area. We're just kind of doing a little bit of a free roam there. But we're going to kind of finish up his exercise with some directional leash pressure. Hi. So he's just distracted with the person. Good job. This way. Good boy. All right. So if I want him to go left and back towards me, I'm going to start walking that way. If he starts overshooting, the leash is going to do the work for us. Good boy. And now I'm going to walk in between the cones. Very good. Now here I'm going to break right. Good boy. Good job, big guy. And that's perfect, right? We didn't even need the leash. And what we have right now is him focused on us, where we're going, what we're doing. Good boy. Without any treats, but at least some praise. Good job. The same thing here. I'm going to take him right. He's going to notice that I'm going that way. And follow. Good boy. Turn left. Good boy. And then I'm going to make another left. Good. So now we have ultimately what we're shooting for, you know, when we're working with dogs and pulling on the leash. We want them to at least recognize where we are in their space and be paying enough attention to us that they can actually adjust accordingly. Now there's some pups up there, some smells that he's trying to get to, and I actually want to go back the other way towards the training exercise. So I'm going to hold my ground, not allow him to go that way. Sees all the people and everything. And this is good to note. You know, the reason why he's pulling is because he wants to go that way towards the people that he sees. So, chances are, as soon as they leave, he's going to lose the interest that's forcing his focus that way. Kind of just sitting down, giving up. And now, what we'll be able to do is go back to guiding him on where he should go. So I'm going to slowly start walking in the direction that I want to go. And what that's going to do is give that directional pressure. Right? It's going to be slow and consistent. It's the opposite way that he wants to go. Good boy. But then that pressure releases as soon as he starts making the correct decision. Right? So now he's stuck on his nose. And that trail is going to the right. I'm going to the left. So I'm just going to go to the left. Good job. Got distracted by the sound of the cone. There you go. Same here. Now I'm going to brake right. Good boy. Going to brake right again. Good. Okay. And he's allowed to use his nose so long as there's no pressure. Now I'm going to turn around. Good. Very good. Good boy. Very good. Good boy. Okay, so he's running out of leash. Good boy. Good job, big guy. Now what we're going to do is we're going to give him a little bit of a break and switch out for his siblings. And we'll do this for a few rotations. Alright, up next we have Mochie here. I'm going to go over the same principles with her. We want her to just kind of follow us through the course. So she's ahead. Gonna start turning right here. Good job. Okay. She's actually a lot more responsive to the leash pressure already, which is really good. She's recognizing when she's running out of leash. So what we really need to focus on, good job, this way, is maintaining focus and having her follow us. Good job, this way. Come on, Mochie. Good girl. She seems almost a little bit skittish or apprehensive, almost unsure or afraid. So we're going to take it nice and slow. We want to try to give that positive feedback as much as possible. So I really want her to go back and to the left behind the cone. So I'm just going to start walking that way. Good job. Don't want her to overshoot. Good job. This way. All right. Good girl. Right, so I want her to go left. Good, very good. So we're just using the leash once again as a boundary to let her know which way she should and shouldn't be going. Right, because now I want her to come left here with me. Good. Good girl. Now she's about to shoot past, so I want her to go left here and inside the cone. I want her to stop, come back, and then go with me in between the cones. So a lot of it is giving her guidance on where she wants to go or where she should be going with you, right? A lot of times we just get really stuck on where they shouldn't be going and what they shouldn't be doing. Whereas if we change the mindset just a little bit onto working with them and guiding them, especially at first when they're trying to learn good leash manners, good girl, and that can really go a long ways. Imagine it to being new at a job or a career. If it's your responsibility to train the new person, you could definitely, and you'll need to, let them know when they're doing something wrong, but your relationship and their growth and development would come along much better if you also told them when they were doing the right thing. Giving them advice and guidance preemptively before they made mistakes, pressed the wrong button, pulled the wrong switch, all of those things will really make their lives and your lives much easier. Good girl. All right, so I want her to go in between these cones with me. So I'm just gonna start walking this way. And I'm just changing the length of the boundary on that leash when I do that. Good girl. Okay, I want to just keep the leash nice and loose. Yes, good girl. I want her to go back in between the cones with me, even though she's distracted and wants to go that way. Good girl. Very good. Good. So in between. Good. Okay. Good. In between. Good. And all I'm doing there to guide her is making sure that that leash gets tight as soon as she's about to go on the wrong side of the cone. Right? So right now it just got tight. It's getting tight because I'm going this way. Good girl. It's loose now because she's following the right way. She's a little distracted. Good girl. Yes. And then back in and in between. Very good. Okay. She seems a little skittish, so I'm going to go left. Very good. And we're going to go right. We're going to take a right back and in between the cones. Right? Okay. So right now she's unsure of something just by her body language. So I'm just going to hold here. Keep that consistent pressure in because I want her to follow me back towards the cones. And I'm going to wait until she gives up. Because you always, of course, have the option of applying additional pressure or sharp pressure. But especially at first, it's going to be really good for the pup to kind of be able to settle in on their own. Yes, good girl. Kind of give up on their own. And then all you have to do is give them that praise when they do the right thing. Good. Back in. Good. Now I want to go up and left. Good girl. And go left. Very good. You can go right. And then right in between the cones. Good. And then straight in between these cones. Good. And then I'm going to stop here. Distracted there, that's fine. Good girl. Come on. And then I'm going to start. Going to go right in between these. There we go. Good. Go left in between these two. Good. And then I'm going to circle left. Good. Very good. And then going to go right in between these two again. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. Yeah, you did so good. Good girl. All right, we're gonna let her free roam for a little bit. Okay. So she gets interested in people and also, of course, the dog's barking. Just gonna pick up her speed a little bit. Good girl. A little tangled up. Oh, no, it's okay. Right? So she hears the other dogs barking over there. And that's actually amping her up too. You can see that she's getting a little bit more intense. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna use leash pressure here to create that boundary. Oh, they're in the window. But now I'm gonna start to kind of walk in the direction that I want her to go. Good girl. There you go. And then just be ready to praise when she follows. She overshoots going to the left, I gesture her this way towards the right. I want to keep the leash nice and loose so that way whenever I do need that tension, it's available. So if I wanted to quickly turn around, good. If I quickly wanted to go back, good. Very good. Good girl. Good job. All right. Go ahead and give you a break. All right. And last but not least, we've got Pablo here. Good boy. So luckily I've been able to get him to warm up me a little bit inside. The idea is still going to be the same. Just going to focus on using the leash as a boundary and having him follow us as opposed to having to pull or having to force him to go with us on the certain directions. Just because I really want him to do as much of the work on his own, at least initially, and then we'll kind of work from there, either with treats for some positive influence and guiding, or, you know, with negative implications for going the wrong way. Okay. So we're just going to start with the free walking. Moves very quickly, but luckily he does kind of slow down when that tension on the leash comes up, so that's really good. Just following his nose. Good. Good. So all I'm concentrating on is making it really hard for him to do the wrong thing, and really easy for him to do the right thing, right? So if I didn't want him to go outside of that cone, right? I didn't want him to go towards the car. The leash is actually helping me. He's pulling because he's hitting the end of it and he wants to go a certain way and I want to go a certain way. But this is where that communication with the leash comes into play. And he needs to learn that instead of just ignoring it. Good. Very good. Okay. So now I want him to go back and in between the two cones with me, so I'm going to hold the leash there. Come here, Pablo. This way. Good boy. Right, and I don't want to go outside the cone, so I had the leash stop there. Very good. Same thing here. Okay. All I'm doing is just controlling the length of the leash. I'm just creating that boundary that he hits. And once he hits that boundary, he's not allowed to move forward anymore. He has to recognize what's going on, where I'm going, what I'm doing. If I took a right now, the leash is going to follow me. He's going to follow me. Good job. Good boy. If I took a left, the leash is a little bit under his leg here. Good boy. Yes. Good job. Try to fix this for him. There you go. And we'll need to still tighten up this harness for him as well. Good. Very good. There you go. So I'm going to go back in and in between the cones with me. So I'm going to shorten the leash so that way he can't go too far. But at the same time, the rules still remain the same, right? If he hits the end of the leash, he has to check back and wait with me. If he starts going the wrong way on the leash, I show him which way the right way is. There we go, right? So he's not allowed to cross. Not allowed to cross that way. Not doing any additional pulling. I'm just making it so that when the leash is done with its length and I'm still moving, it's helping to guide him on where I'm going, right? So I'm going hard left. Good. I'm going to stop. Good, just because there's cars coming. I'm going to go back left. Good. All right. Don't want him to get too close to the car. Good. And then back in. Don't want him to go outside of the cones. Good. Don't want him to go outside of the cones again. So he's just getting distracted with all the people and things that are going on. Right? But we're just still maintaining, right? If I don't want him to go on the outside of that, I'm just gonna have him come in here. Let's see if these guys need this. Okay, they're just showing a home, so they said that we don't need to move. All right, so I wanted them to go right. Good job. Okay. Then right again. Good. And we want them to get used to understanding and recognizing and responding to the leash pressure. So that's why I want to try to use as little of it as possible, but at the same time be as firm as possible when he tries to just ignore it and continue forward or continue the wrong way, right? So right now, it's very loose. Good boy. Now, it's hard. And then loose again. Right, and hard. I want to go right in between these cones. Good. Very good. Good boy. Okay, and then hard left. And this is where his apprehension of people may come into play too, or his uncertainty, because now he's kind of fighting against where we're going on the leash, just because it's going towards something that he's unsure of. And as he gets more comfortable, people, and as he gets more comfortable with them, there you go. He's less apprehensive. You're gonna go left. Gonna go left. Good. Okay. I'm not pulling with my arm, I'm not tugging him or anything. I'm just using the leash and I'm walking, right? So if I'm walking to the right, the leash is gonna do the work for me. If I stop, good boy, good stop, right? I'm gonna start walking again, okay? And I want him to go in between and to the left. So I'm gonna make sure we use the leash. Good boy. And then back and to the right. Right? And then in between these two cones, so I'm gonna start walking back. Good, good boy. Usually people don't make these many turns when they're on a normal walk. We'll go over more of those in the next exercise. But the reason why we're making such pronounced turns and starts and stops is so that way he can get used to the leash pressure, and then especially directional pressure, right? So going left, good boy. Okay, then going right, good, good boy. And stop, good. And now if I want him to walk with me through the cones again, I'm gonna have to limit his area that he can walk around. But the principles are still the same, right? I want the leash to be nice and loose. Sorry, bud. I want the leash to be nice and loose until he starts going the wrong way. Right? Very good. Too far, a little tight. Gonna hold there. So this is where a lot of people will just go ahead and pull harder to get them to react. We'll be able to do that later. We can also walk left or right. But the main thing for the first few sessions and lessons is just getting him to recognize what's going on and to give up, right? If he's still pulling in tension, trying to go forward when he shouldn't be because there's tension on the leash, right? And now he's given up, right? Same thing here. He wants to go left. Tension on the leash is to the right. I'm gonna start walking, okay? Same thing here. Go in between, good. Okay, and then back over, We'll go ahead and shorten the lead again. We're gonna go ahead and also, because his easy walk is so loose, it's actually harder for the pressure to transfer through. So all we're gonna do is just clip him on his regular collar. Right? So same thing here. Good. Good, there you go. Good. Good. So I'm keeping the same pace and the same leash distance as I'm going through. And he's just hitting that border. And when he does, good boy, he has to stop and recognize what's going on. Same thing again. We'll go into more of an even closer heel. Good, there you go. All right. So if at any time he starts to go too fast or too slow and hits that leash pressure, we have to make sure that he's not allowed to make space, right, while he's under that pressure. He has to stop, then continue when we continue. Stop. Then continue when we continue. Go again. Good boy. Yes. Right? And I'm just maintaining the same speed. Right? Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and give him full leash. Do the same thing. I'm just gonna go ahead and walk. I'm gonna turn right. Good boy, yes. I'm gonna turn right. Yes, good boy. I'm gonna stop. And you can kind of see now the leash doing the vast majority of the work for us. I'm gonna guide him in between the cones. Good, there you go. Good. Okay, so he's going too far to the left. So I'm just making that nice and tight. Good. Too far to the left. Good. Good boy. And this is going to be really important, especially when he becomes anxious, that he gets a better grasp of what's going on with the leash, so we can kind of use that to help him out with guiding him. Very good. Okay, going too far forward. Gonna stop. Go to the left. Good boy, very good. Okay, going too far, gonna stop. Go to the left. Good. Ran out of leash. Just stop. Just wait. Alright. Let him get distracted with whatever's around him. Now I'm just gonna start walking backwards. And that leash is gonna start pulling backwards, right? Okay. Not pulling with my arm, not jerking him or anything. I'm just walking. The leash is doing the work for us. It's going too far. Good boy. Yes, very good. Whenever he checks in, it's really good. Means he's trying to at least focus on us momentarily to figure out what's going on. Oh, big guy. Pablo, come here. Come. Good job. Yes. Good. This way. This way. Yes. Good. Right? Really trying to get him to maintain focus on me. And now he notices where I'm going and what I'm doing. Right? And so it becomes into like, it turns into like a fun game. And you'll find the more that you try to lose him, the harder it is for him, and the more that he's kind of almost forced to follow you. So I'm gonna go left. Gonna go left. I'm gonna stop. Oh, look at that focus. I'm gonna go right. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go this way. Good boy. All right. Of course, these are very exaggerated movements and everything, but it's just to help him get a better grasp of that concept of the leash pressure, and also maintaining and following focus. Start walking forward. Good job. Stop. Leash pressure. Good boy. Yes. This way. Good. I'm just waiting for him to give up, right? Because once he gives up, he's like, okay, I can't go that way. What do I need to do? Where are we supposed to go? And that's kind of where we step in to help guide him. Good boy. Took a little while longer there just because of the distractions of his siblings in the car, and also there's the main roadway there. But the important thing is he gave up on his own. I didn't force him to give up. You know, I just held the leash constant as a barrier, and then he recognized that it was a barrier, right? Sometimes it just takes them a little bit of time to figure these things out, and we just have to present the opportunity for them to learn. Good boy, Pablo. All right. And we'll do more of a social evaluation tomorrow for Pablo, but figured since I gotta go out and get some treats for these guys, I'll go ahead and take him into the store with me to see how he does. So same thing here, leash pressure and that boundary to stop. Okay, good. And then walking. There you go. Leash pressure again. This way. Not gonna worry too much about it, but at the same time, not gonna let him just make full progress pulling. Hey, how's it going? Seems to want to go back out the other way, huh? Come on, big guy. Let's go get some treats. That's okay. It's okay. Seems definitely very unsure of the environment. Tails between his legs, trying to head back out the exit. Say hi. Good boy. Come on, this guy.
Excuse me.
Oh, sorry. Come on, guy. We gotta go get some treats. This way. Good boy. There you go. Hi, how you doing? What do you think, big guy? He's a little shy. What do you think? It's okay. Yeah. There you go. At least he's a little interested. He's definitely skittish. Come on, big guy. It's okay. Boy. Okay. So we're gonna try to get some salmon, some liver, and some chicken. And it's just one of everything to see what they like at first. Just checking everybody out. Still maybe a little unsure. Good boy. Good boy. This way, Pablo. Good boy. It's okay, big guy. He definitely knows where the exit is, that's for sure. This way. Good boy. So once again, even with his anxiety, we're applying the same concepts for the leash work here as well, right? We're creating that boundary, especially since we don't want him to always learn to run away from his fears, to show him that there's actually nothing to be afraid of. So creating that boundary, not letting him just kind of run loose towards the exit. Good boy. Having him kind of give up and having to follow us. Good boy. Good boy. This way. Yes, very good. Good boy. Okay. Yeah, you can definitely tell by his body language. He's definitely not the most comfortable in this environment. But with some practice, you can get used to new places. Might just be the fact that it's something new, it might be the people, might be all the different smells, sounds. Good job. Oh, they're all tangled up. Come here, bud. Come. Good boy. Good boy. Alright. And then of course when he starts hard pulling, just ran out of leash. And make sure you can't make continued progress forward. Good. Same thing here. The lack of traction on the floor actually helps in this situation as well. Yes, good boy. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and get in line. I'll cut this off for now. And we'll do a more thorough evaluation with him tomorrow. Hi, how you doing? What do you think, bud? Oh, that's good timing, actually. Good boy, this way. Good job. What? You see the pup? You see the pup? That was good. Because you see, like, his body language changed from being scared and his tail tucked underneath. Tail got up, wagging a little bit. Definitely a lot more excited. And the crying is good too because it shows like he kind of wants to go and interact with the other dog. Whereas at first with the barking, it can seem, you know, it could be like aggressive or anything, but it's just that initial excitement. He's not continuously pulling towards the other dog or anything either, which is really good. So yeah, it just seems like at first the excitement of another pup, and now crying to try to meet the other pup. Now the tail's going back down after his excitement kind of subsided there. So that was a good little interaction. Pablo. Yes, good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good job, big guy. Yes. Yeah. He's doing good. He definitely seems very nervous and very sensitive to all the different sounds and everything going on around him. Good boy. It's okay. He's doing a pretty good job of not overreacting. Oh. Oh. Good boy. At least he's got the smells to kind of distract him.